Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kenny and folks, it's pretty obvious what we're going to be talking about today, so let's dive right into it. And let me say to you, it's super warm here after we have just went through such a frigid winter's chill. Today the sun is out and it's about 50 degrees and I am excited because I've even got sunglasses on. It's hard to believe. But we're going to be talking about my truck. Now, I'm going to say this about my truck. It's an 07 Xterra, and some of you have already seen an oil change and maybe something like that with it in a previous video. But I'm going to be talking about the pros and the cons of this truck. And keep in mind, I've had it since 07, so it is 14 years old. Now, I don't talk a lot about cars and trucks. I really don't. But I'm going to say this about this particular truck. I have driven this truck for the past 14 years, and let me tell you, after driving something that long, you get to know it, and you know what it's like, and you know what it's good for, and you know its ups and its downs better than anybody else. Now listen, I'm going to rate this truck in a very short time. But the only thing I've done to this thing since I've owned it, I've changed the oil and the fluids, put a couple of set of tires on it, a battery, and I tuned it up at about 100,000 miles. Now, I tuned it up at about 100,000 miles. And I want to say that virtually that's about all I have done to it in the past 14 years. Now, I'm going to rate this truck as being quality and durable because I use it, and I use it a lot, and I use it for a lot of different things. But I want to share this with you. I pull a trailer load of firewood with this thing. Now, keep in mind, it's a 4x4, and it's got a 4.0 V6 engine, so there's plenty of power there. And I pull a load of firewood with this thing that will weigh probably a little bit over 2 tons. And I pull it with no problem. So I'm going to raise the hood on this thing and let you look at the engine. All right now, folks, I want to point out a few things about this engine. And I'm going to show you right here, give you a bird's eye view at the description of this truck engine. It is a 4.0 V6, so it has got a tremendous amount of power, fuel injected. And over here, we've replaced this battery one time over the past 14 years. And of course, that's a great reputation. And I want to say this about this truck. This thing is solid. I'm talking about it has no rattles, no noise, no nothing of that nature. Now, the ride is still smooth. After 14 years, it still rides great, and it's just solid. It is solid. It is powerful. And I give that as a rating, as a 5-star rating at any time. So let me show you how this engine runs. That's the smoothest running engine that really that I could brag about if I wanted to. I could. Now, the cons about this thing, or this truck. The only thing that I've had to really work on as far as a mechanical issue has been I had to replace the brake lines on this. About 80% of the brake lines I had to replace them. And of course right here I'm talking about, I've got my hands on them. They lead to the master cylinder, and of course they go under the body of the truck. I had to replace those because we live in an area here where that during the wintertime there's a lot of salt put on the roads. And my truck is extremely nasty right now because we've had no car washes open because of the cold weather. And that salt also takes its toll on your brake lines, etc. But that's the only part that I have replaced on this truck in the past 14 years. All right, now folks, one other thing I want to point out to you before I forget this. About a year ago, we hit a deer. Of course, we live in an area where there's a lot of deer. This entire front part right here, we hit the deer. This right here, this bumper, this grill, and over here, these fog lights, this headlight was all replaced because we hit a deer, and of course that's how it happens when you hit a deer. But that's the only thing we've had to do to it as far as for repair. But that was an accident, and that was related to a deer. So we wanted to point out to you, and it looks great. The body man, he really did a fantastic job on replacing this. So I wanted to share that with you as well. But overall, my analysis of this truck is, would I buy it again? After 14 years, would I buy another Nissan? Yes, I would. And the reason I would buy a Nissan again is because after 14 years, this one here is still going after 147,000 miles. It's still going, and let me tell you, you can't beat that for durability, for quality, for just an overall truck that does the job. Yes, I would buy it again. I would buy it again. I give it a 5-star rating. And I'm going to tell you something else. I'm going to keep this truck for as long as it will run. I'm that type of person. I believe in buying something, and I don't believe in just getting rid of it like that just after a short time. If it works, keep it. I have kept it over these years, and I know what it does, and I am pleased with it. And yes, I said it again and again, I would buy it again. So I thought I would bring this to you. My overall analysis of it is quality. Quality, and that's the greatest sum up word that I could use, is quality. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. And listen, you might be a brand new viewer, and if you are, give us a thumbs up and go ahead and ring that bell and subscribe to the channel. And listen, we would certainly appreciate it. And as always, listen, you have a wonderful, blessed day, and we'll talk to you later.